All right, folks. So today we're going to be replacing the currently deflated back tire of my GoTrax G4 with this tubeless tire I got. So I only bought one because the front tire seems to be fine, but this one has been giving me lots of issues. I've patched it twice, and every time I patch it, I get a mile away from my house and it starts deflating, and then I ride back on a deflated tire. So I am tired of this. I spent $33 on this, I think, and this should mean that I have no more deflated tire issues. So this is a bit heavier as far as I know. I think it's 4 times heavier. I don't know if that number is exactly correct, but the tubeless tire will definitely be higher than the other one. So you might have a little bit decreased speed, and it's definitely going to be less comfortable because this is very much solid, whereas this has obviously air to reduce the impact. So if you're making this switch like me, keep watching, but otherwise definitely stick with I would personally stick with the tire that it comes with until you have an issue, because this is going to be way more comfortable and it's just built for it. But anyway, I have all the tools that I need. This is supposed to be a difficult thing to do, which is why I'm making a video about it. So we'll see how it goes. I am pretty inept with tools myself, so that's why I'm making this video, in case somebody else like me is pretty confused on how to do something like this. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, so our first step is with our multi-tool here. This does not fit these 2 screws here, so we're going to be using our whatever this is to take off this outer part, and then we'll have access to the nuts that are going to give us access to the tire, so we can actually take the full thing off. So let's go ahead and do that. Update. In order to get this on easily, because this is going to be so tight, there's a couple recommendations. You can see the instructions. You can boil it at 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, or put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. Well, I don't have a microwave, which is really kind of strange, honestly. I don't know why I don't have one. And so I guess we're going with method number 1. So I somehow acquired a pot, which is exactly the size I need. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I mean, I feel like this, I think, actually, okay, this is a terrible idea because it's supposed to get bigger crap. Okay, I gotta find a bigger pot. Separated the tire from the scooter now. So that was pretty simple. We only need some pliers and a multi-tool. If you want a more in-depth video, I already uploaded one, so just go to my channel and see the other video. But anyway, so now we just have to get rid of these 6 outer screws. It's on the 3rd layer, not the 2nd layer, not the brake pad, this 3rd layer down here. So we get rid of all 6 of those when we have access to this tire. Then we can take it off, and I'm in the process of finding a pot or microwave that will fit this, because the previous pot was exactly the size, which I feel like will be a problem if this expands while it's heating up, which I think is what it's supposed to do, which would make it easier to put on. So still in the process of finding that, but I have hope. So anyway, let's take off these 6 screws and then we'll be in business. Status update. We have taken out this outer piece. We've got all 6 of our screws here, and we have now separated the tire, the old tire and tube. Good thing we were replacing this, because I didn't realize how bad this damage was. It was not as bad before, but I ended up riding it like a mile flat because it was, I mean, how was I going to get back? So anyway, good thing we've got this, but we are still trying to find some way to heat this up, because as you can see, well, it does look like it's going on, it's actually not big enough to get onto this final piece. And so we're going to try and heat this up. That was probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my entire life. So I did manage to get it on. Yes, it's possible. And in the Amazon reviews for this thing, old Ford mechanic, apparently, is what the guy said he was, couldn't even get this on himself. So I'd call this a definite success on my part. But let me tell you, you definitely need the microwave. I used a microwave, heat gloves or some kind of heat mittens, and a second person for sure. There's no way I could have done this on my own. So I couldn't really record it because I was in somebody else's apartment using their microwave, but I heated this up to 3 minutes. I tried it 2 or 3 times on my own, and every time after like 5 or 10 minutes, I would reheat it up for a minute or 2. But rubber holds heat really, really well. So even though it's been about 10 minutes since I finished, this thing is still way too hot to grip. So I definitely recommend using some kind of oven mitts or something, because if you're trying to push this on with a lot of pressure, you're pushing your hand into all the heat, which it's not hot to touch, but it's really hot to hold for a long time. So I burnt my hand trying to do it originally. So save yourself that pain, get some heat gloves. I was able to, with the help of a second person, push it onto this outer ring here. I sprayed dish soap all around it, heated it up for probably 4.5 minutes total, if you're including 3 minutes plus a minute, some cooling, a minute, some cooling, 2 more minutes, etc. So, I had some heat and cooling, but in general, I got it really, really hot, put it onto this outer rim, and then once that was on, I could put on this second outer rim here on this other side. I just wedged in a piece of it, put down a screw and tightened it, not completely tight because then I wouldn't be able to put down the rest, but I tightened it really close so that it wouldn't escape. And then I could just slowly start wedging it in until I had the full thing in. So the entire thing took me about an hour. Alrighty folks, after reassembling everything, this is the final result. I'm sure you were expecting this. The tubeless tire has been put on, which was the entire point of this video, and this is living proof that it can actually be done. So I'm 20 and I've probably spent less than a week in the garage in my entire life. So if I can do this, you probably can too. And I gave it a ride and it seemed just, pretty much as good as it used to be. So because that side is still an air tire and that side's not, there's a little bit of difference in height because that one's a little bit shorter, but the suspension really wasn't bad at all because that is going to be a little bit better than the back one. And because I didn't make them both tubeless, it's still really not that bad. So if you only have one flat tire, go for what I did and it seems to ride perfectly fine. I'm 190 pounds and it still can easily get me up to 20 miles an hour. So decreased efficiency because the tire's a bit heavier and stuff. I wouldn't really worry about that. But yeah, I mean, this is proof that it can be done. It was definitely difficult, but I would highly recommend this over, getting rid of the scooter at that point. And, this cost $30 and an hour and a half to upgrade. So, and I'll never have to worry about that tire pretty much anymore. So I am pretty pleased with this. Of course, it was kind of frustrating to have to do this in the first place, but yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this and I'll see you later.